to be the greatest country in the world. And it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for. And if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome
What up,
to
everybody?
a special Friday episode.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning, brother.
Let me tell you something, brother.
If you're seeing us now, do not update your stuff right now. Don't update any software. Don't click any update buttons. Leave it alone, people. Leave it alone.
Leave it be.
Because apparently I woke up this morning and I've gotten messages from master sergeants, sergeant majors, captains, majors saying our networks are down. We can't see anything. Do not click the update, folks. Do not click the update button. I don't know what's going on. But apparently
How scary is that, though? That you're getting stuff like that from the military.
Yeah, dude.
That their stuff is down.
Luckily, my friend Kevin, who is a master sergeant in the Marine Corps, he said his DoD networks are up, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But a lot of other things are crashing left and right now. Are we not glad that we're Apple users at this point?
That's right.
Thank God.
Yep.
I never thought, because before I joined Dear America, I was a Windows guy.
Yeah, me too.
I was a Windows guy, and I had
an Android. I had an Android.
And thank God for producer Zach, who taught me everything there is to know about a Mac. Or I would still be a Windows guy. So do not click that update button, folks. Leave it alone. And if you're trying to catch a flight right now, you better go to Hertz.
You're out of luck.
You better
Graham.
Yeah,
Graham right
Graham is
now.
stuck right now.
Say a prayer.
Graham is stuck. Look, guys, we are doing a Friday show this morning because there's literally too much to talk about on a Friday to put it off until a Monday, because there's no telling what's going to happen this weekend with Joe Biden and everything that's come out about him. And yes, Kendra's right. I hated Apple with a passion. I hated it so much. But anyway, we got a lot to unpack. We got a lot to unfold. And before we get started, I want to say two things. Number one, all of you, thank you so much. It's been a great week for all of us here at Dear America. Guys, we have been live more times this week than I think we have been ever since I've been a part of this show. And you guys just continue to show up. You continue to come hang out with us. Of course, I know the majority of you come to hang out at night to pick on me, and that's fine. I enjoy the banter.
Poor Todd.
I do, but no, you guys show up, you hang out, you chill with us until the late hours of the night, which was like 11 o'clock for me last night.
Yeah, that was a long show yesterday.
Midnight for these guys. Yeah. So, fortunately for me, I live in Mississippi. And it was great.
What was the time yesterday, Royce? Do you know what was the?
How long was the show?
How long was it?
I think it was 3.5 hours.
3.5
Yeah,
hours.
it was long. And now after before I went to bed last night, I saw this one tweet, and I was wondering, before I went to bed, I was like, golly, man, he talked for a long time. It ended up being 92 minutes, which is a new record for the longest speech in nomination acceptance history. So, of course, that's just what Don does.
He also had a lot to get through, because I feel like it's the first time a nomination speech was accepted days after an assassination.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot to cover and to go over in a scenario like that. But also, yeah, he is just long-winded, and he just goes over everything, and we love to listen to it and hear it. And I thought he did great.
He did great, and I will say, yes, everything was long. We spent hours here sitting in this chair, sitting in our chairs, watching these people get up and speak. But it was very entertaining from beginning to end. Both nights was extremely entertaining. A lot of good speeches, a lot of good entertainment. So thank you guys so much.
Definitely.
Whether it was Rumble, X, YouTube, wherever you were streaming from, wherever you were watching from the bottom of our hearts here at Dear America, we really appreciate you guys coming and hang out. Yep. The second thing I want to talk about is our sponsors. Thank you guys so much. Whether it's Patriot Mobile, which these stingers will pop up here. Guys, listen, there's a reason why you don't see Pepsi on Rumble. There's a reason why you don't see Coke or Reebok or Nike or Under Armour. There's a reason why you see Patriot Mobile and Birch Gold and Silent, because these are the only patriotic, America-loving sponsors and companies that we have out there right now. If Nike and Adidas and Coke, Under Armour, if they were paid, you would see them here. There's a reason you don't, okay? Because they don't want to associate themselves with people who actually love this country. All right, they don't want to cross that line in the sand. So thank God that we have sponsors out there that have cojones big enough to step out and say, yes, we love America. We're always going to support America, and we're going to support the ones that are willing to put their reputations on the line by using their voice to say that they love America, they love President Trump. So that's all I got.
That's good. That's good, because we know a lot of people in the chat a lot of times are like, oh, again with the ads or whatnot. But we show them love because they show us love. They're supporting us just like we're supporting them. So
and they're supporting the country.
Exactly.
They're not just existing and not being woke, but they're doing good things for the country.
Exactly.
Donating to good causes, faith-based. Like Patriot Mobile is very open about how they're a Christian organization, and that's who we want to support, not just because they're not woke, but because they support what we support. So
and just to, guys, we could, and me and Graham have talked about this time and time again, we could literally flip the narrative and go left and be sponsored by Nike like that.
Bigger sponsorship.
It would be, if we wanted to, we could be gazillionaires if we flipped. But that's just not how we roll. We're going to stick to who we are. We're going to stick to the patriots that we are, and that's just how we roll. I would much rather die on my feet than live on my knees. It's that simple. It's just that simple for me. All right. So before we get into everything, let's see what producer Royce has to say about this week. Royce, do you have anything you want to tell or say?
Like from last night, or just from
the week in general, man? It was a long week.
I think everybody knows I'm somewhat new here. I've been here for a couple of months, and I'm proud of all the work that we've done, and I'm proud of being able to help this show be what it's been over the past few months. I think we've improved a lot of things. I think we've made it really cool. I think we've made it really fun, and I just love that I'm able to be here to do lives like we did last night and the night before, and we can have Graham call in like he tried to do, right? And we can.
I messaged him like 10 times, dude. I can still see people's feet. Would you please turn that thing off?
That was entertaining, though. At least we got to see him for a minute. But I know we're all having fun, and I felt such like a warmth from the audience over the past couple of weeks since I've actually been on the show. You guys have all seemed to have accepted me happily, and I'm thankful for that. But
Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil. I'm not Dr. Evil.
Yeah,
no.
You just owned it right there. It's over now, buddy.
But don't forget, guys, if you are tuning in today, we don't always do Friday shows. So this is an important one because of the news, because of how important and how crazy this news might be with Joe Biden potentially dropping out over the next couple of days, which we'll get into. But do not forget to like this. That helps us in the algorithm. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on whatever you're watching, and share this video. Also, don't forget to comment below, but not only comment and have your own conversations, but super chats, $5 or more, and we will all read your super chats. And yeah, we'll do that at the end of the show. But I think we should go ahead and get into the news.
100%.
I know we briefly talked, and I'm not trying to take over the show, but I have all the articles.
You're good. You're good.
Go, Royce.
You're good.
You go.
We got one person left to hear from. We can't skip Tony.
I'm so sorry. Tony, go ahead.
We can't skip Tony.
What?
Just anything. Do you have anything? Oh, it's opening, man. Do you have anything to say about the previous week and everything that's going on? What's your take?
It was a very busy week for, obviously, with the RNC and whatnot, with the assassination attempt and whatnot. And it was a busy week. And I actually spoke to one of my old friends in Oregon this last week. And as I was speaking to this person, they were like, how do you like being on the show and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's not as stressful as working at a physical job like I did at a restaurant. But mentally, people don't understand. Our brains never shut off. After the show, we are literally dissecting the show we just did, trying to think about stuff to do the next day and the next week and so on and so forth. and I find myself now, my brain's thinking in a totally different capacity now. It's all about the politics of what's going on in the world,
and literally everything.
And I'm paying more attention now to what is going on everyday news. I mean, before, just being a regular guy, I was like, do I believe that or not? It doesn't really affect me. Now I'm thinking about it in a way that I want to see who's telling the truth and who's not. So all that to say is that, it was a busy week. I really enjoyed it. These last 5 days that we did 7 shows with today, I think it's very informative to everybody that's on the show. I appreciate everybody sticking with us. I mean, yesterday was a really long show, that 3.5 hours, and I appreciate everybody being on here, because obviously, we're on the show, but we're just 3 regular guys. Honestly, if people knew us and how we talk before the show and after the show, we're just regular guys, and I really appreciate everybody just sticking with us and giving us love all the time with, sticking with us. So
100%.
Basically, before the show, we talk about all the news that we can't talk about on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Pretty much.
Can't really share that information.
Pretty much. And all right.
Also, well, really quick, I know everybody's missing Graham. He will be back Monday, as long as what we're about to talk about doesn't become worse.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's
get into it. So if you don't know, and if you haven't heard, the Democrats have changed their slogan. We come across this video earlier today. I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this lady is, but apparently the Dems are starting to tell the American people that they're going to make America great again.
So yes, this November we're going to make America great again. So yeah.
With the Biden-Harris behind her, like the big D, like the Democrat logo.
When I saw this video for the first time, I literally had to zoom in to her mouth to make sure it wasn't deep fake. I hate saying that now. They making me say their stuff.
No, cheap fake is their term.
So the Democrats have switched, and now they're going to say MAGA.
Dude, what an original slogan they got going on.
I know, right?
I wonder where they got that from.
I know. So if you missed the RNC last night was the closing of the RNC there in Milwaukee. Had a lot of good speeches last night, a lot of good entertainment, and we're going to get started with Alina Habba. She said basically the only crime that Trump committed was loving America, or was saving America. Mm-hmm. Dude, her speech was really good. Let's watch what she got.
Sham indictments and baseless allegations will not deter us, because the only crime President Trump has committed is loving America.
Facts.
And I'm sorry, you can't pick that statement apart in any way, shape, form, or fashion. You cannot look at what Donald Trump was, what he was during president, what he lost financially during because he donated his salary as president, okay, and what has happened to him now, including the assassination attempt. Look, this dude, Dana White said it last night. He's like, he didn't need this. He was set for life. He could have rode his horse off into the sunset and lived his best life with his grandchildren and done basically whatever the man wanted to do. He could have told Eric and Don, y'all got the company. I'm spending the rest of my days on this planet with the grandbabies. Mm-hmm. But no, he's not. He's been arrested. He's been photographed. All right, they've tried to put him in jail. They put him in cuffs. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They call him a rapist, even though he wasn't convicted of rape. And somebody took a shot at him, and he's missing a piece of his ear. And he's still coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be real with y'all. Y'all know how much I love this country. And I've said this time and time again. I love this country, all right, with all of my heart. I don't love it as much as Donald Trump does. I'm just being real with you. I don't. Because I'm not going through all of that with what that man has and coming back. The shot heard round the world would have been the last straw for me. that would have been it. I'd have been like, oh, okay, all right, now they're trying to kill me, and the people that the government is sent to protect me is not going to do their job, so I'm out of here. I'm gone.
The dedication that he has shown to try to get himself back in the White House for us, not just for him, because he said it. He said his sons and everybody that knows him has said it. He doesn't need this, but he sees that the country needs him back in the White House, and he's sacrificing so much to put himself in a position where we support him going back into the White House, and we need him. We literally need him.
100%. But don't just think about like what he's having to go through. What has he put his sons through just because of his decision to run for president? He said it last night. They get subpoenas every day, every week, once a week. Over and over and over and over and over. So it's not just what Don is going through himself, it's what he's putting his family through as well. Can you imagine just and how beautiful the little girl was, Kai, in her speech? Can you imagine what that 17-year-old child's going through right now versus what she would be going through if he would not be running? Like, even her life is completely flipped upside down. That and again, it goes back to that is a love for this country that even I don't really understand. That's just me being honest with all of y'all. But we got to move on. Tucker talked last night as well. And of course, he went Tucker. He used a whole bunch of $10 words that, again, they weren't in technical terms, so I didn't really get most of it. But he did say a few things that I did get, and here was one of those.
I watched the video of what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania about 50 times. I think I was one of about 8 billion people around the world who watched it. And the more I watched it, the more it struck me that everything was different after that moment. Everything. And this convention is different. The nation is different. The world is different. Donald Trump is different. When he stood up after being shot in the face, bloodied, and put his hand up, I thought at that moment, that was a transformation. This was no longer a man. Well, I think it was divine intervention. But the effect that it had on Donald Trump, he was no longer just a political party's nominee or a former president or a future president. This was the leader of a nation. And
please, Lord, press secretary. Please, Lord.
Yeah, man.
Please, Lord.
And Trump's Tucker's completely right. Trump doesn't matter where he is in office, he is right now the leader of this nation.
Yes.
And world leaders, despite him not being in office right now, fear him. And they
100%.
fear what's going to happen when he does have power.
Yeah, well,
and everybody is rallying behind Trump right now because they know that he is the real leader of this nation, not who's actually pushing all the buttons right now.
Yeah, and we said it last night. Towards the end, they talked about the American hostages that were still being held in Gaza, and that if Trump gets elected, what's going to happen to them? Y'all can write this down right now. If Trump wins on November the 5th, those hostages will be put on a plane November the 6th. Okay, because every leader, whether it be Putin, China, North Korea, all the doofuses in Palestine and Gaza, ISIS, they don't want this to happen because they know the world that they're, the lights turn on, all the roaches scatter. They know they got to go back to their little shady spots if Trump gets elected. Period. So yes,
I'm just touching on a little what Tucker said. I know for myself, and I'm pretty sure that there's many people like me, you're going to remember exactly where you were when you were watching President Trump lift his fist with blood running down his ear.
Oh, yeah,
when he
for
said,
sure.
Fight. That is just, the man just got shot at. He had a piece of his ear shot off. He gets up and he starts yelling, fight. That is just... I don't know many people who would do that. A lot of people would just scatter and try to run off the stage. He literally just,
He even mentioned it last night.
Yeah, he did.
Not only did he do that, but the audience, in a scenario like that where guns go off, people scatter. People trample over each other.
Yep.
That didn't happen that day, right?
Not at all.
Everybody stayed and really kind of defending the president, stood there and took it with him and chanted with him when he got back up. And everybody wanted to make sure he was okay. They weren't concerned about themselves in the same way Trump isn't concerned about himself either. It's about the country. Everybody knows that.
I mean, the man is a warrior. The man
is
a
a
warrior,
very
so.
strong relationship that Trump has with us, but also the relationship that we have with him.
Yeah.
It's everything, and that for me is why we need him more than anything, because there was a time just a few short months ago where the GOP was just in disarray. And you don't see that right now. Everything is doing this right now. And what do you see with the Democrats right now? They're just pulling apart. And it's fun to watch.
Well, the healing of the country goes through him. I mean, that I feel that deep in my soul, that if we are going to fix what is going on and all the divisiveness that's going on in our country, it has to go through him. I mean, the fact that he did get his life attempted, and he got up and he stood up and he's still out there fighting. And obviously we saw a different Donald Trump. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But we saw a different Donald Trump last night. But the fixing and the healing of the country goes through him, and that's just
yeah, 100%. And he's got a big task ahead of him, and we'll get to that during his speech. But for me, I kind of knew how this speech was going to go with Donald Trump. It went exactly how I thought it. Not that long, but it went exactly how I thought it was going to go. So for me, the highlight of the night, and if you watched us live, you know what the highlight of my night was this right here. I'm sorry. This was it. My 10-year-old came out loud and proud last night. I don't even have to intro this. Let's go.
Let's just watch it.
Let's just do it.
It's still so much fun to see.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You know something? When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title. Or maybe I thought the vibe was so intense, the energy was so crazy, it felt like maybe I was gonna press that no-good stinky giant over my head and slam him through the mat, brother. But what I found out was I was in a room full of real Americans, brother. And at the end of the day, with our leader up there, my hero, that gladiator, we're gonna bring America back together. One real American at a time, bro.
Yeah.
So good.
And I don't know what's the next clip we have of him, because he said something that I really this was funny. All right.
All you criminals, all you lowlifes, all you scumbags, all you drug dealers, and all you crooked politicians need to answer one question, brother.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when Donald Trump and all the Trumpomaniacs run wild on you, brother?
Now,
God bless you.
Great speech.
And thank you.
All right. Obviously, Terry was in character for 95% of his speech, but he did say something, and we don't have the clip of it, but he did say something that really turned a light bulb on for me. And it's that he's been an entertainer his whole life. He has been. He's been an entertainer since the 70s. And he's like, I've never really been openly political. I've never come out and said, this person or that person. Now, he's always been for America. I mean, Real American has been his intro since 85. But that's the problem that we see right now is all of these George Clooney's of the world, all of these, all these famous people, Jack Blacks and stuff, they got no problems coming out and doing fundraisers or talking for Biden or talking for Obama or talking for Hillary or whatever. But all of these, it's like all the famous people that are somewhat conservative, it's like they're...
Yeah.
They don't want to come out and say it, but you're starting to see a shift. You're starting to see a change. And I think with Hogan, with Kid Rock, with Aldine, with Cody Johnson, with Luke Bryan, with all of these guys coming out and pushing the conservative narrative, I think you're going to see it happen more and more and more. But we can only hope.
Touching on that, Todd, I think what I'm seeing is we see the people that are out for Trump, Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock and whatnot, they're doing it for Trump and for the country. The people on the left that have the George Clooney's and all the Jack Blacks, they're doing it for the anti-Trump. They're not doing it for the country. They're doing it to just go anybody that is Trump thing. So
yeah.
They're not doing it for the love of the country.
Yeah. Well, I keep seeing the comparison between Hulk Hogan and Jack Black, like this is who they have and this is who we have. And it's a perfect representation because Jack Black is the perfect model for what the left represents, okay? He's a bit overweight. All he does is play video games and like he's big and he's
pretty
fun,
good.
Right? That's all he does. Good. He's very open about he just sits there and plays video games all day. He live streams him playing video games. Then you have Hulk Hogan, who is a literal fighter.
Yep.
Lifts a 300-pound man over his head and fights for what he believes in.
70 years old.
70 years old. That's what represents the right, and from an entertainment standpoint, and from the left, it's Jack Black all day. That's
I don't think we'll be seeing much of Jack Black for a while.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
I don't know about you guys, but when Hulk came out and he started giving a speech, it took me back to when I was a kid. I started thinking about the Junkyard Dog. And Andre the Giant
him wrestling during Desert Storm, coming out with the flag, wrestling the guy that was supposed to be from Iraq or whatever. It was great.
Iron Sheik. I started thinking about all the stuff when I was watching WW when it was WWF still.
Yes,
it was
yeah, for real. All right, so and then Eric took the stage and did an amazing job. Like Eric's speech was way better than I thought it was going to be. So let's play this clip.
Persecuted, targeted by far left Democrats, funded by special interest groups, and handpicked judges. My father has been pulled off the ballots of states, radical justices attempting to defy the will of millions of Americans who adore who he is and what he stands for. My father even became the target of an assassin who almost killed America's single greatest hope for our future. The swamp is terrified of this incredible movement. They're terrified of it. They're terrified of you and the tens of millions of people watching us on TV right now. They've tried everything to keep him from you, everything, to destroy his legacy, to destroy his family. They have failed, and they will not win.
And Eric makes a point here, and this is something I will say that I am borderline, and I'm not borderline, that I am ashamed of. When it comes to the silent majority, it takes an event like 9/11. It takes an event like the almost assassination of President Trump for us to go, okay, all right, it's time to get off the bench. All right, it's time to go tug on the coach's shoulder. I'm ready to get in the game now. It's happening. Yes, they're starting to get off the bench. We're starting to get off the bench. We're starting to get in the game. But why does it continually take a catastrophic event or an almost catastrophic event for us to find our patriotism again? Why does the left continue to be able to lull us to sleep until it gets to a place where we don't recognize our country anymore? So my challenge to everybody that sees this is it's over. It's done. All right. No more sitting on the bench. Okay. Knock the bench over. Stay off of it. All right. Enough is enough. All right, we are now back, and I see a lot of Americans now, we're back in that 9/12 mindset. You have to keep it. All right, it's not just a temporal thing. It's not a periodic thing. It's something that has to hit you and stay in you. We said during the speeches in RNC last night, I posed the question. I said, is anybody feeling that American hope swelling in your spirit again? Because that's something I hadn't felt in a very long time. And now that it's there, don't let it go. Hold on to it. Keep it. All right, because that's the only way look, 4 years of Trump is not going to take our country back. We have to understand that. All right, we have to get that. 4 years of Donald Trump is not going to right this ship. We need 4 years of him and a lifetime of other people. All right, but the only way to make that happen is to hold on to all of that power, that hope, that patriotism that all of you are feeling right now in this moment. Right in what you felt last night.
Yep.
That's the only way to do this.
Good point, Todd. That's a very good point. People have to be more willing to step in and do something and help and act, not just react. So that's a very good point, Todd. You're right. 4 years of Trump is not going to fix everything. It's going to get us started for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we need people. We need fighters out there to go out there and carry the torch after Trump is gone. So,
100%. Now, don't get me wrong. Trump's going to start the fire. Like he's going to arrange it. He's going to start the fire. But then after that, it's up to us to continue to add wood to it. It's up to us at that point. Now, this is a question, and I posed this question to the group before we went live. Melania showed up last night.
She did.
And I have
very
a question after
like
we. Very. I mean, I'm sorry. That to me, when I think First Lady, that's what I think right there.
Somebody in the chat compared her to Princess Diana.
I can totally see that. Totally see that.
Mm-hmm. She just looks so I don't know, just I mean
First Lady-ish.
Lack of a better word, just elegant. Look at
yeah.
her.
I mean,
She walks
who
in,
was
she,
it?
She,
Was it
she
was it
commands
Tony?
the
Was it
room.
you last night that said there's no photo of her going like this?
Yeah, that was me.
that was Todd.
Nobody's ever seen her like
Jill Biden. Jill Biden is honestly, this is just like straight from. She's an embarrassment to the White House and to 100%. Americans as a first lady. This Melania is so presidential and just so well composed, and how she holds herself is very first lady-esque. Like, I couldn't describe to you how a first lady should act besides saying, "Go look at Melania."
Yeah. 100%.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
For me, you
Jill
throw,
is just so bad.
Yeah, you throw Jill Biden a pair of overalls and stick her in a trailer park, nobody's going to tell the difference.
Someone on YouTube said gracious. That's the perfect word.
Yeah.
Gracious
She's
in
elegant.
everything she does.
She's very classy. But my only question is, where has she been? That's my only worry. Like, and I know she's got grandkids to take care of. You know, Barron's got a lot of stuff going on, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. And frankly, it's none of my business. But I just see the loopholes of what the left can attack, and that's, if I'm on the other side, that's what I'm going after right there.
I thought about this after you asked that question this morning when you said, where has she been? I thought about it for a second, and I came up with a scenario where maybe the whole Trump family said, maybe you should just be in the background and let us take it this time, because obviously Laura Trump and Eric and Don and all of them, I think they're all coming out guns a-blazing even before the assassination attempt.
And maybe it's a protective measure. Yeah. It could be. Could be a protective measure. Or it could be just Melania's like, look, I'm done with the drama. I'm hanging out with the grandbabies.
Yeah.
Like, you go do your little political stuff. I'm going to the zoo with the grandbabies. And if that's it, I 100% understand that. Because once I started having kids, my parents didn't care nothing about me no more. It was all about those. It was all about those grandkids. That was it. Royce, you'll figure it out one day. I promise you. That day's coming. They'll forget your name, like 100%. So now we're getting into Trump's speech. It was 92 minutes long. And yes,
we're gonna play the whole
thing, all
right
of
now.
it. You're gonna listen to it again.
Yeah. Yep.
We have subtitles. No, just kidding. But 92 minutes long, and
And
yes,
we're gonna pause every 5 minutes to break down exactly what he said.
we're gonna be here until Sunday going over this speech. 92 minutes long. He set a new record for political acceptance nominations by a future president or whatever. But this was him accepting the actual nomination.
We are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America.
I love that statement.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States.
Yeah. All right. And he also, we played this video yesterday where he was somebody else, but he actually said that God was on his side while he was getting shot at.
Top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet in a certain way I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that.
You could definitely tell last night that he did not like telling that story.
No, not at all. Well, who would? And when we get done with this, we'll analyze a little bit more than we did last night. But then he started talking about, and I noticed immediately when he came out on stage, I noticed the firefighter uniform to the left. Mm-hmm. And so he started talking about Corey how do you pronounce the last name? I don't want to butcher it.
I don't know. Honestly.
All right, let me see it so I can get it right. I don't want to mess up this man's last name. Comperatore. Corey Comperatore, the firefighter that died shielding his family. Let's go.
Spoke to her today, devastated. And two precious daughters. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was.
And I said last night after he did this, I said the left's going to come after this. They're going to come after this. They're going to say something negative. They're going to say something negative about this. And here's my question: if he hadn't even mentioned it, this is the part about like Trump's life and how crooked and just horrible the left is. You're in a no-win situation here if you're Donald Trump. All right, when it comes to Corey, if you talk about it, you're grifting. If you don't talk about it, you're getting hammered for not talking about it. So he's screwed either way. And this is the steal of it. I love this. Personally, I love this. He did exactly what should have been done. Not only, and we don't have this, but they've raised $6 million for these families. He had a check for $1 million, literally in his jacket. He pulled it out. Boom, a check for $1 million. Now, money doesn't replace what this family has lost, what his daughter's lost, okay? But the fact that he is doing everything right, everything that needs to be done when it comes to these families. But let me tell you somebody who's not doing things right. And my goal in life, is to be blocked by this little punk. All right. So of course, this was
Todd's
popped.
going thug.
This was popped on Harry Sisson's page and immediately taken down. It was deleted not long after. He says, "Oh my God, the name on the back of Corey Comperatore's fire jacket was misspelled. Wow, this is unacceptable."
Notice the little G in God.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. He should have a little H in his name. Like, just this kid. So this was posted by Harry Sisson, and not long after that, he got hammered. But thank God the internet is forever. Dom posted it. He said, breaking Democrat propagandist Harry Sisson was brutally exposed for lying on Donald Trump, claiming he got the wrong firefighter who passed away defending his family at the Trump rally. So you can see the original picture of him and Donald Trump there, and then that's the actual uniform itself. Guess what, Harry? It's the same one. Dude, just listen. All I can say to Harry is don't forget to blink and breathe. That's all I can say.
Don't forget to blink and breathe.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But there is new footage out there, and we showed this yesterday, and we're going to show it again. There is new footage out there for all the ones that says that Trump's Band-Aid was fake and, this was staged and all this stuff.
Which is just an insult. The dude was shot. You're going to come here and say that this was a hoax and it was planned and it was fake, didn't really happen? I can't believe it.
No. If anybody was to go
it
to...
It should have surprised you. The left is the left.
I know,
for
but like,
real.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, but so this is new footage of it, and it actually shows the bullet actually ripping through his ear. Let's go through it. No, there's the hole right there. There you go.
Boom.
New earring right
Plays it
there.
again.
Boom. All right, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here, right there. Right through it.
Just ripped right through it, man. And
Just-
that's just how close it was. It's insane.
I mean, dude, you're talking this much. Like, literally, that man.
Look, he turns his head right when he turns back. Boom.
Yeah.
There it is. If he did not turn in that millisecond,
He's dead, man.
gone, man. Back of the head.
He is a dead man.
I mean, this isn't funny, but he literally dodged the bullet. I mean, he
There's no other way to put that. Like, there's no other way to put that.
We do need to get into the Joe Biden news. That's why everybody's clicking on today, which is important. But let's talk about this really quick. This conspiracy, if that's what we think it is.
I'm going to go ahead and debunk this right now.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm just going to debunk this right now. And I've told y'all time and time again, there's so much information out there on social media about this shooting, and I'm telling y'all, 95% of it is garbage. This is one of those things, okay? Number one, unless Peter Parker took that shot, this is not possible. Okay. All right. Number one, you can see in this. Let me just explain. They're saying that there was a shooter on the water tower. All right. So you see the picture of the water tower on the left. You see the base down there. That is where you walk around. All right. Right there around the water tower. How do I know? Folks, I'm a redneck from Mississippi. We paint water towers here. That's what we do. You ever heard the song John Deere Green? Anyway, there is absolutely no way possible that a shooter could be on the side of this thing, not on the platform. I wouldn't even venture to say being on top of it, because it is so. How they paint these things is they hook a safety harness, like a rope pulley system, on top of that little knob up there, and they hook themselves in, and they literally spin around this thing to paint them. All right. So and there is a ladder that goes up the side to get on top of it, but not like that. Nobody's going to hang off a ladder and hold a gun on the side. Do you see? And this is just tactical or just common sense, really. If you're taking a shot from the water tower, you're on that platform.
Also, that's not really discreet at all. Like, you're very visible. If you are mounted on this side of a water tower,
it looks like a Garfield window sticker.
Right.
Like, nobody's going to do that. So just stop. just folks, I'm just trying to help you here. Don't get rolled into this. Well, there was a shooter on the grassy knoll and blah, blah, blah. No. All right. Unless that's Peter Parker, that's not a sniper.
Yeah,
Tony, do you have any thoughts on what this might be? Do you believe that it's a hoax?
I was just about to say, remember we talk about just having common sense. This is one of those times where just think about what you guys are saying out there. Todd's right. Unless you're freaking Spider-Man going up there and trying to hold a rifle, and there's just, I don't see any possible way that they can take a shot from there. But again,
not at all. Not at all.
Common sense, people. Common sense.
Well, so no.
Now we can move on to something else.
Yes. So the fall of Joe Biden. And so here we go. So this is Joe Biden getting snatched by Jill because He was about to kiss the wrong woman. I don't care how you spin it. He was about to kiss the wrong chick. Look at, just before you play, look at his face. He has no clue what's going on.
He's ready to go in there.
Like, he's ready.
And his face afterwards, just like, oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
what?
Yeah, play
All
the
right,
clip.
play it. Play it.
All right, here we go.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, hey, Jill.
Sorry.
Hello. My bad.
He's like, there's two of you.
Still following us.
Is that your twin sister?
He's leaning in.
What happened? Oh,
That
it's
face.
Monique and Unique. Oh, no. Oh, no.
When you realize you've misplaced your wife.
No kidding. But to make matters worse, so literally over the past 2 days, and all the dominoes have fallen. Basically, everything that Graham has been talking about, all these Democrats coming out, everything that Graham has predicted, except Biden actually dropping, has happened. And he's going to be so hard to deal with if Biden drops on Sunday. Like, I'm going to take a week vacation. But so even Obama has come out and says Biden needs to seriously consider the viability of his candidacy. Play it.
He's a serious reporter. He has good sourcing. I want to read from him directly. Former President Barack Obama has told allies in recent days that President Biden's path to victory has greatly diminished, and he thinks the president needs to seriously consider the viability of his candidacy. And here's the sourcing. Multiple people briefed on his thinking. This does not show up by accident, Emily. He has greenlighted, in my opinion, as someone who's worked in press, his aides to share this with the Washington Post.
Which is a crucial sea change, Kaylee. And actually before, Marie, when you were talking about it, in my head I was like, no, he doesn't need to come out and say it, because he did it non-verbally. When he guided the president off the stage, he showed the world the president's frailty. He showed the world that Barack Obama was still the elder of the party. Although, Marie, that made me feel like I'm an ancient. But at the end of the day, we are now seeing the materialization of the apparitions. Right? Because prior to this, for example, as former Speaker Kevin McCarthy said, well, Pelosi controls everyone, right? So Schiff coming out and saying that meant Pelosi told him.
So we know that Pelosi and Schiff have came out.
Yeah, Pelosi, Schiff, Schumer, Hakeem, all of them. Now Obama. Okay, so we know Biden has COVID. I still don't believe it.
I've seen and I've read clips and I've heard people on news radio say that Biden's camp is now avoiding Obama's calls, that he's totally backing away from whatever Obama's trying to suggest to him, because I believe that Hunter and Jill are just telling him, they're trying to take you out, man. Just ignore them. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. But Biden is apparently isolating at home as Obama, Pelosi, and other Democrats push for him to reconsider 2024 race. So all the dominoes are there. Like, everybody at this point, every Democrat at this point is telling him to drop out. Why he hasn't at this point? You got me. I don't have a clue. But this is from the Washington AP. Democrats at the
I was gonna say, I wonder if it's a politician thing, because remember Haley did the same thing. Remember, she was getting blasted and killed when everybody was telling her to pull out, and she didn't.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Democrats at the highest.
Until she did.
Yeah, until she did. Yeah. Democrats at the highest levels are making a critical push for President Joe Biden to rethink his election bid, with former President Barack Obama expressing concerns to allies and Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi privately telling Biden the party could lose the ability to seize control of the House if he doesn't step away from the race. Biden's orbit, already small before his debate fumbling, has grown even smaller in recent days, isolated as he battles a COVID infection at home in Delaware. The president is relying on a few longtime aides as he weighs whether to bow to the mounting pressure to drop out. All right, so that's the list. Now, here are the list of Democrats that we have so far that have told him to take a seat.
It's a long list.
Yeah, and we're not going to read them all. But, I mean, Adam Schiff, of course, Sorensen, of course. Let's see, some of these I don't. Yeah, Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado. Nobody really cares about you.
Are Pelosi and Schumer on there already?
Adam Smith, Jerry Nadler.
Schumer is. I don't think Pelosi's on here yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the list goes on and on and on and on, and it's going to continue to update. I mean, it's going to continue to go.
So.
Yeah, it's going to continue to update. But so then the bombshell finally dropped, and I think it was on Newsmax. Finally, this popped. Let's play this.
Carl, according to multiple Democratic sources, this is happening all of a sudden. Everyone said it would happen gradually and then all at once, and that's what's happening. According to my sources, President Biden has agreed to step down as the Democratic nominee.
Oh, man.
It will happen as early as this weekend. A speech has been drafted for him. He will continue on as president, is his intention. He also will not, I'm told, endorse Vice President Harris as his successor. They're hoping that he will endorse an open process in which the convention will be open to Vice President Harris and a few other candidates in Chicago to pick the Democratic nominee for president. The belief is that Vice President Harris is already looking at potential running mates to go to Chicago with a full ticket, including one possibility, Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, and perhaps the governor of Pennsylvania, Governor Shapiro. Other possible candidates who are being talked about include Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, perhaps Gretchen Whitmer, and again, the vice president running. On the first ballot, the regular delegates would be allowed to vote under this agreement that's being talked about amongst the president and high-level Democrat officials. The regular delegates would vote on the first ballot. If there is no winner on the first ballot, the so-called super delegates would be allowed to vote on the subsequent ballot.
Okay, it's 3 minutes.
3 minutes. We don't have to listen to all
So
of it. But
that's huge. Why? I mean, didn't they just say that Biden would not endorse Harris?
Yeah. So there it is.
Didn't he just come out and say that Harris would he wouldn't have picked Harris to be his VP if he didn't have a confidence in her being the president?
Listen, Bongino says this all the time, and this, I'm sorry. This is what I personally think. Too many people are trying to be first instead of trying to be right. And that's just how I feel about this. The last two little things that we've talked about. It's just you got too many people out there that are taking a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo and trying to be first instead of trying to be right. All right. Looking at this from just common sense, I'm going to tell you now, if they pass over Kamala Harris, the Democratic Party is going to explode.
Mm-hmm.
If they pass over a female black woman, they're going to. A black woman. It's going to explode. It's
I agree
going
with you
to
100%.
explode.
Yep.
And they're not stupid enough to not know that.
I mean, I've been saying the same kind of thing. You can't pass over Harris because she is the VP. She's the next in line. She's a woman and she's black. I don't see how they could pass her over.
Yeah, and there's no way. There's not one strategic aid or magic 8 ball on the planet that's going to tell anybody that Harris can beat Trump. I'm sorry.
You think it's going to be Harris and Gavin?
I don't think that matters.
That's what I think. But yeah, Todd's right. I don't think it matters. I think the MAGA movement is too strong right now for anybody to beat.
There's only one person that gets them to the big enough to rig, and that's Michelle Obama. I'm sorry, and I go on record. It's not going to happen.
Then after this assassination attempt, we saw so many, even from the left, coming over and saying, "Hey, black comedians saying, I wasn't gonna vote, but I'm voting for this guy now because he's a gangster."
Yeah,
and that's true.
100%. I mean, 100%.
So even if Michelle did come out, I don't know if we're
out of all the names that have been put out there, Obama is the only one that makes me go, "Ooh, that's not gonna be good." I think Obama turns the tide, at least in the House and the Senate elections. Mm-hmm. That name is the only thing that's going to unite that party right now. Newsom's not going to do it. Newsom's not going to unite nothing. The guy's an idiot, and everybody knows it. He's way too far off the reservation.
Hates him.
Exactly. Yep. His own state hates the guy.
Yeah, all you gotta do is look at California and know this guy's gonna suck.
100%. So, all right, I said this last night. This is what I think's going on. All right, and I could be way off here. I think they are propping Biden up for the biggest Hail Mary ever thrown in politics. I think what you're going to see is they're using this COVID as a cover. I don't think he has it. I really don't. I don't think he has it. I think they're using this COVID as a cover to keep him quiet, keep him under wraps for the next 4 or 5 days so they can juice him up enough to give one massive, bring everything together address to the nation and one last attempt to give him that Lion King moment. And Hail Mary, if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. I do not. If Biden makes it through the weekend, then he's it. That's just my opinion.
The best that I've ever heard Joe Biden speak, I believe it was DNC 2020. He gave this speech that wasn't really political. It was just American, and he was coherent. Okay, and we are so far from that kind of Joe Biden. I don't think any amount of juice is going to fix that. And I think that they tried to juice him up for the debate, and that didn't work. I don't think that's the plan.
I didn't say it was going to work. I didn't say it was going to work.
I don't think that they think it's going to work.
I think they're stuck with him. So. And they know it. Yeah, and that's my thing. So I said last night, they're dumb enough to think that that's going to work. They think you're dumb enough to think that's going to work. And in all honesty, look, they know they're stuck with him.
Well, according to reports from Charlie Kirk, this Sunday, just a couple of days, it might all be over. He might be done, and then they're gonna have to throw someone else up.
It's possible. I mean, I could.
Now, what if they? Well, yeah, I don't know if anybody here knows the answer to this, but what if they don't throw anybody up, and they're just like, we quit.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to go into the DNC with an open. They're going to have to pick somebody.
Open convention.
Yeah, with an open convention.
They have to pick somebody.
Oh, they're going to have to pick somebody. Yep. They can't just go, nah, we're not doing it. We quit.
Yeah, but I do see your point though, Todd, because I think Graham has said this also, that they've thrown in the towel on the presidency, but they're going to try to salvage the House and the Senate.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I can see your point. Yeah, that it does make sense.
But to the American, for them, this is pushing the nuke button at this point. I'm sorry, it's too late. Like, if they were going to replace Biden, they should have done it a month ago. They should have done it way before, so they had somebody with coherent speech that could talk after the RNC, that could talk after all of this.
Just as a reference, Tony pointed out this clip before the show. We should play it now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can to kind of show where Joe Biden is at the moment in terms of his speaking ability. Okay?
Yeah, this is terrible.
2020 campaign and before, and now are asking you to step down, to withdraw the presidential race. People like George Clooney, Michael Douglas, Ashley Judd, and even Adam Schiff. How do you feel betrayal? In what do you tell them?
Look, I had a terrible night on the debate night. I was exhausted. I had been traveling around the world. I wasn't ready. And I performed terribly. And so people are now saying, well, that was only one thing. But he's 81 years old. What happens when he's 84 years old? What happens when he's 85 years old?
2020 campaign and
before. Again, I'm telling you, that just don't sound right.
He's in a state where he's like 95 years old.
No.
The veteran who was 98?
Yeah, but way more. The only thing the veteran, the World War II veteran mispronounced was he said Afghanistan backwards. But other than that, he was clear, coherent, and ready to go.
Way more patriotic.
Way more. And
but
dude,
but remember, he's 18 years older than Biden, and he did sound way more coherent than
that dude.
Biden does.
The veteran had been married for 76 years or something like that. Like, dude, he'd been married almost as long as Biden had been alive. And look, I'm not denying that something's wrong with Biden. I'm not denying that this dude is not coherent and he's not a vegetable. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying they're stuck with him. Like, if he makes it through this weekend, they're stuck with him. And what they're going to do, they're going to take their money, they're going to put Biden in a closet or in a dungeon for the rest of this time. There will be no more presidential debates. The best they can do is try to pit Harris against Vance. That's the best they'll be able to do. and just hope that Harris can kind of trip and skip and make a couple good points before Vance just
Vance is gonna destroy her.
I think Harris should pick Sisson as VP.
Fine.
I think that would be just
and
a
then let
phenomenal
me debate Sisson.
Todd, we can't put you in the same room as Sisson. You would be arrested for murder.
Not murder, just
okay.
A little bit of maimage. That's all.
Maimage?
Maimage. That's a
oh
word.
My gosh.
Maimage.
He just made up his own word there.
Yeah, maimage. But anyway, that's how I see it. If Biden's not gone by the weekend, Biden's here, period. And they're going to shift their focus to try to collect as many votes as they can using the VP debate and the House and the Senate races. That's what's going to happen. I don't see a shift right now.
I do see what you're saying, Todd, and I have to remind everybody out there that no matter what, the left is still going to vote for whoever's in the White House or whoever they have on the ticket there because they are so anti-Trump. That's why we have to get out there and vote and make it too big to rig. I know it's we keep pounding that into people's brains and whatnot, but tell your friends, tell your family members, if we want our country to get back to what it once was, we need to get out there and vote and be strong and throw out the vote so they can't do anything, so they can't cheat us again.
Yeah, 100%. And you have to remind yourselves, okay? Everybody gets all excited because Obama told Biden to drop out. Well, he's definitely going to do it now. Why do you think Joe's not listening to Barack? I mean, he was in his hip pocket for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Do you think for 1 second that Biden doesn't have dirt on Obama? Just saying.
If you can remember, yeah, probably.
Just saying.
I don't think Biden can remember the dirt that he has in Obama.
That's in a safety deposit box with if killed release. I'm telling you now.
I think that's what the classified documents in Biden's house were.
I'm telling you
that they took away.
now.
Otherwise,
if I have an accident, release this.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. If I catch COVID in the end of July 2024, release the Kraken. Anyway, that's all the time we have for right now. Tony, say goodbye, my friend.
We have some super questions.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. Yeah, we do. My bad.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, and I'm the super question guy.
I know.
So sorry. Good catch. That's your job. Your job's to catch this stuff. Well done, Royce. From the Wolf 092. Morning, guys. Great hanging with everyone last night. Lots of emotional moments. I do believe we are headed to some better times in the next 4 months and beyond. Let's keep it positive. 100%. 100%
Absolutely,
right
yep.
there. Kaloho, Dem slogan should be bad. Bring America down. Can't do it. That's been their mantra for 12, 13 years now. From B Mays 05. What do you think about all of us writing voted Trump on our car windows after we vote to show the country who should win this election? God bless Graham and family. God bless Trump. Actually, not a bad idea. Like if you voted for Trump, to just take that paint or whatever and write voted Trump and just.
Let me ask something really quick.
Horrible idea. It's pretty good.
I kept seeing Republicans at the RNC wearing bandages on their ears like Trump.
Yeah.
And I saw, and to me, I'm like, I don't
That's stupid. I'm not down. Yeah, I'm not. I don't like it.
Saying like Republicans, please don't do this. Stop doing this.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And I agree with it. I thought that was weird. Don't
like
listen, if Biden broke his, or if Trump broke his arm, I'm not going to put a cast on.
Yeah, the farthest I'm going is this and a shirt, maybe a wristband. Bro, I'm not covering my ear with a.
What I want is that MAGA hat with the bullet on the right ear.
For real.
I thought that was hard. But.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cringe too. Like,
hey, Todd, to comment on that last question about writing, I voted Trump. Mm-hmm. The only thing about that is that we've shown time and time again that the left are the ones that go crazy whenever they think something's not going their way. I mean, the riots, they damage personal property, they damage businesses. The only thing I'm afraid of is you do write something on your car, they might
smash
come out
a window,
smash a window or something. So
hey, you play the game, you got to be prepared to win the prizes.
True.
That's
Very
all
true.
I'm saying.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. From Angela Durham, thank you for live streaming last night. Watching Trump speak make my heart swell. I would definitely go to the front lines for our country and our President Trump. God bless America and the Trumpites. Thank you, Angela. good statement.
Mm-hmm.
From E.R. Hartley, given that President Trump said he will shut down the border day one and send back the illegal immigrants, what do you think the terrorists that are already here will do? Well, that's the difference. I think what you're going to end up seeing, because look, it's not that Trump is like some master tactician or anything like that, and it's not about the weapons and things that he has at his disposal. It's he doesn't care. Like, he knows that my button is bigger than your button, and he plays that. I think that on November the 5th, I don't think I think a lot of people are going to do it on their own. I think people are going, oh, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here right now, because he will put them in prison. He will prosecute them to the full extent of the law. And so I think you're going to see possibly a lot of those people leave, but the weeks leading up to the election, I think that's the time period you have to worry about.
True. And hopefully when he does take office, because we know that the three-letter organizations out there, it's going to take a while for them to all get on the same page with him. Hopefully, I mean, I would like to think that our country isn't as far gone that we're not keeping track of some of these terrorists that
we're
came
not.
through our border.
I can tell you now, we're not. It's impossible. Like,
no, I know it's impossible, but I mean, the face recognition and the names and whatnot. I mean, that we have to have some sort of something out there that the CIA is tracking at least some of these individuals that came through the border.
Bro, I will go on record and say they have no idea who's here. Like,
well, that's even scarier.
If they didn't stop the shooting from happening in Butner.
Well, they made that happen, Royce. I mean, they let that happen.
That's the whole point.
I'm starting
that's
to
the whole
convinced,
point.
because if you're telling me that the Secret Service can't stop that, then how unbelievable? Because we know that they're tracking immigrants. They do it all the time. That's how they find them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're going to come out and be like, oh, well, we missed this one guy on a roof with a gun at a Trump rally, unbelievable.
Really simply put, if they can't protect the most needed protected person in the world, then there's no chance of protecting you, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think they could have protected him. I think they let it happen.
You're making my point.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a brain fart on a massive level or they just didn't do it. If they didn't or won't protect the most needed protected person on the planet, the typical everyday American walking around is absolutely screwed. 100% screwed. Because every time they I'm telling you, don't fall for this crap. Every time they put out their little terror alert, we're scared something's going to happen soon. Dude, that's cannon fodder. Okay? It's just, we're tracking something. They ain't tracking nothing. They're not getting no reports. They haven't heard anything on their little walkie-talkies. No, that's just a comfort pill for you, the American person, to swallow into thinking, oh, they are watching. Because a terrorist doesn't do that. A terrorist doesn't go, I'm going to kill you on May the 12th. No, they don't do that. You have no idea when it's going to happen.
Not stereotyping or anything, but
like, you have no idea when it's coming. That's the point of being a terrorist. Hello. All right, so moving on.
That was good, Todd. I like that.
You're welcome. From CD90, I appreciate you guys putting in the long hours this week. I know you have to be exhausted this morning. Just a little bit.
Oh, quite.
Just a little bit.
I'm in my 20s and I'm like dead.
I'm as energetic as a toddler.
Man, spry. From Mamoose, my husband and I wanted to send some money to your coffee fund because y'all have been through it this week. We appreciate you and watching with the Dear America family. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. From Monty, sometimes people need to be reminded that freedom isn't free. Our freedom was paid by the blood of many veterans that never came home. We should all remember that. God bless those who gave all. Mm-hmm. Amen, brother. From Pastor Scott, the RNC gave me the feeling of King Hezekiah moment, where President Trump may be the last God-fearing president before America is taking away into exile. I agree with everything except that last part. He ain't taking me nowhere. Good luck. Again from Pastor Scott, Gunnery Sergeant Bob Lee Swagger couldn't have made that shot off the water tower. Agreed.
Good
Mark
point.
Wahlberg reference right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way. Shooter. Great movie.
Amazing. Mike 2904. I am all for Trump, but how do you guys feel about the comments he made about his daughter Ivanka. I haven't read those comments.
I haven't read them either. I don't know what they're referring to.
I don't know.
I guess we'll look into that, and we'll
we
get
will
back
look
to
into
you.
that. From KM Michael 2, CBS News had an interview with Biden's campaign manager this morning, and they said Biden has no intention of leaving the race.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's coming. Here comes I'm telling you, his Lion King moment's coming. I'm telling you.
Please don't ever sing the Lion King song again.
Sorry. My bad. Lauren, 2135. I live in Kentucky, and Andy is a piece of, as much as I would love to get rid of him, not in this way. I'd rather take it off the face in Kentucky for everyone. Wow, that's a lot of hate. You got hate in your heart, Lauren. Let it out. Let it out. Diane, MCC 75. I don't think it matters who they put in there as long as it looks decent enough for them to cheat with all the illegal votes that they're counting on. Agreed.
Yeah, we've been talking about that.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep, they're trying to. Again, I think Graham and we're probably all on the same page now. They're throwing in the towel with the presidency, and they're going to try to win some votes in the House and the Senate so they can at least try to block Trump from doing whatever he's trying to do. So
yeah. A Sereno 9167. If Biden removes himself as the candidate, does he become unhinged and unpredictable until January? No, I think he goes to nap. I think he goes to Sleepy Town for the next 6-7 months. And
what I'm scared about is if Biden does drop out or whatever, now it looks to our enemies that this is the only chance that they got. If
100%. Well, whether he drops out or not, this is the only chance they got. Like other than the election itself.
Here's the thing: if he stays in, they might think that the Democrats have a plan to rig it and win. They might have another 4 years to plan or figure something out, or to just let us destroy ourselves. But if they're told that Joe Biden's out, we're putting someone more cognitive in play, then they're like, we got months. If we're gonna act, it's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
That's what makes me nervous.
Tactically speaking, if I was a terrorist, and I'm not, tactically speaking, I would do nothing until the first week of November. I'd do nothing. I wouldn't make a move, simply because if they keep Biden in the last week in November, that is going to be the dangerous week of probably the last 10 years for us. I'm just telling you. I'm going to be indoors for a minute. G. Nelson 1120. How can any American with a brain not see how fake and phony these leftists have been with the last few years regarding Biden and his health? They really think Americans are stupid. I guess some are. Unfortunately, yes, Nelson, they are. Unfortunately, I would say half of this country are oxygen thieves. Just putting it mildly.
And if I can say something about that, because I know a lot of leftists and liberals, they don't care how Biden is. They would rather vote for a dying Biden than a healthy Trump. That's just the way they think, because they think that Trump stands for everything that they stand for, when they can't see that Trump is trying to unite everybody and get everybody back where we were back when he was in office. And there's just no convincing them. It's just, it just blows my mind.
And everything I've ever heard Tony talk about when it comes to this stuff, I would venture to guess and say that if Ronald Reagan reincarnated, hit the ballot box, they'd still vote for Joe.
Yeah,
yeah.
Let's do some YouTube ones really quick, and we can go back.
Okay, go ahead.
We're getting a few YouTube ones.
All right, let's go. Okay. Anthony McNabb. Long live America. Amen, brother. I still love that picture. It looks amazing. Alexandria Reynolds. Thank you for all the hard work and extra work this week. Enjoyed being able to watch all of this through your channel. Thank you, Alexandra. Very nice. I like the horse. Alexandra Whitcomb. Thank you, Alexandra Whitcomb. Nice little family you got there. I like it. Love to see pictures of families. Again, there he goes again. Anthony McNabb, it is time y'all become more proud to be American. Time to bring her back to the good old days. The world needs y'all. Amen. Again, still love the profile picture,
and
bro.
then last one also from Anthony McNabb.
Okay, cool. Simpson predicted POTUS Ivanka. They're never wrong.
Simpsons
it's
are
hard to argue with it, man.
Yeah, shockingly right a lot.
Royce, there's a troll in here. Can you kick whoever it is that keeps putting stupid things that are the chat saying?
We're on
kick
Rumble?
This. Yeah, on Rumble.
All right, well, let's finish this out. Maybe it won't come back. WPM Davis, if I was a terrorist coming over the border, the first thing I would do is tape my phone to the nearest wild animal and disappear. Let's be real. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Oh, I see who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
Fart. Very, very cute. Well, that's the last one anyway. So
but still, I don't like to give people the satisfaction. So.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Look, thank you guys for hanging out. It's been a very long week. Graham will be back in studio on Monday as long as he catches a flight or a car that he can drive. Tony, say goodbye.
Thank you all for being with us this whole week. I know it was long shows and whatnot. Really appreciate it. And we will see you guys next week.
Royce?
See you guys. Appreciate you all sticking with us. And to all the new followers, because we've gained quite a few across the board, but even on YouTube and X, we're glad you're here. And we hope that you guys stick with us.
Absolutely. All right, let's pray this thing out and say bye-bye. Dear Father, Lord, we just thank you for everything that we asked for at the beginning of the week, that the protection that was laid, that everybody is safe and sound. The job is not through. Father, I just ask that in all the travels that's going on with Graham, with Noah, and with all of the other men and women that are at that convention, that you get them all safe to their families. Father, we love you. We thank you for everything that you do for us, Father. Thank you for giving us this platform here to be able to spread the good news and the love, grace, and mercy that is fresh for us every single day. Father, we love you, and we ask all and pray for all of these things in your Son's name, and all God's people said,
Amen. Amen. Have a good weekend, everybody.
All right, folks, have a great week. It's Hot Seat Todd for Graham Allen, Royce, Tony, Alyssa, and everybody here at Dear America, reminding you to stay awake, not woke, trust in God, not the government, and as always, stay free.